Okay, Jay, so, no, not Jay, sorry.
Éva,
my brain is starting to go. So, what brought you to a carnivore retreat, and is this something you could have imagined doing like 5-10 years ago?
Yeah, never in my whole life would I have imagined this. No, I mean, just unbelievable. And especially the carnivore diet, you know. I guess I was exposed to it though. 2002 was my first experience in the raw, well, not carnivore, but raw meat and animal-based products. The Agenus Vonderplanens style. So they still incorporated, you know, veggies and fruits and all that stuff. But I did that like 6 or 7 months, and it didn't quite give me the healing I was looking for. So I did away with it. And then, but at that time, I did find a young lady who decided to do all carnivore. And it's the first I ever heard of that. No veggies, no fruits. It's like, what? That's unheard of. No, we need those, right? But I kind of followed her. She had a blog, and she was doing really well for a little while, but then some things weren't working out, and then she kind of stopped. So once she did that, I was like, okay, I tried it for a month myself, as a matter of fact. And then I got some blood work back while I was doing that. And the numbers, I guess cholesterols, I always knew cholesterol was not bad, but my numbers were really extremely higher than they've ever been before, which was really strange. So I thought, well, maybe something's wrong with this diet. So I stopped. So then I went from there to paleo, and then keto, and then eventually, it's going to be 16 months this coming month on the 4th that I've been carnivore. I went 100%, and I did the food and water, like the zero carb community to start out, and did well for 7 months, but then at the 7th month mark, just eating meat, I did ribeyes, you know, the traditional ribeyes, water. I started to feel tired. And I'm thinking, well, I'm way past adaptation, and I really didn't have any kind of bad adaptation symptoms. And I'm like, why would I be tired? And so, and also right about that time, I started to have acid reflux, which I never had my whole life. I'm like, well, this is supposed to be a really good diet. And it was. And the reason why I stuck with it from the get-go is the one thing that I've been looking for all of my life, because all my life I had, I'm sure many people have the same issue, constipation. I had it since childhood. Nothing helped. I had to constantly rely on supplements to keep, you know, going regularly. And this diet was a godsend. After a month, I weaned myself off of all those supplements, and everything's been normal since. And I cannot believe that that has happened. So that truly told me that this is the diet for me. And so here I am. And then once we, you know, found out about this whole carnivore retreat, when I heard that, I was like, I've got to be there. So that's why I'm here.
That's great. So let me see if I understand you. So you were going full carnivore, but you were having this acid reflux and fatigue,
7 months, yeah.
And then you linked that back to the supplements that you had been continually
No, I'm sorry. I did kind of go off on a tangent the other different direction. So let me go back there. So yeah, at 7 months, acid reflux, and then tired. And so I was like, okay, what is going on? And of course, I'm in the carnivore groups and getting information. And then I kind of branched out and went into some other groups as well that weren't as dogmatic about just meat and water. And then I started finding the PKD group. And you need the organ meats and more fat. And I was like, okay, maybe I need to try this. So I kind of tried my own version of it as far as what information I found. And that did help, you know, adding those things in. And then I eventually had a consultation with them and followed that for a little while. But what helped with the acid reflux, I was already, all my life I've always eaten my steak rare, you know, and love it, blood dripping red rare. And I was already just searing my steaks at about that point, like 5 seconds each side. And I'm like, well, I might as well just go raw again, because I tried it in 2002, and let's do it again, see what happens. First meal I ate raw, no more acid reflux since. And now I can have an occasional steak that's seared a little bit in the restaurant if I go out, and there's no problem, as long as I'm not eating on a regular basis. And now I just prefer all raw, and that's what I eat at home. So I'm doing really well with that. And so I got rid of the tiredness as well. You know, that I got rid of because I was eating too much by that time. So I do believe when you start this diet, you need to eat a lot to help the body heal. You've got to really put that nourishment in you, give it enough that it needs to really heal. And I think at about that point, my body healed so much, it didn't need as much nutrition. So now I need a little less. So once I reduced it down a little bit, the tiredness went away. And then, so going raw and then reducing down, it was really good.
So you mentioned that you were, that you were healing and you were finding this healing. So what was going on with you that you needed healing from?
Well, I had the thyroid, hypothyroid. So with that, obviously, the tiredness was part of it. My skin was really, really dry. It's gotten better. It's still got healing to do because I understand that thyroid doesn't heal just very quickly. It could take a couple of years. So I'm being patient. I would get chilled and really hot easily. So now, things have slowly getting better with that. I noticed at night in bed, what they call hot flashes. I understand that it's not necessarily that's tied in with the female hormones. It could be your liver. And so I have a liver issue also going on, like a little, I guess everyone probably has some congested liver, I would imagine. But the heat from that was causing my hot flashes at night. And those have reduced down big time. Some nights I don't even have an issue. So so all these things, pretty much the thyroid is mostly,
So were you taking synthetic?
Never did. I was never the type of person to take drugs. I would always try alternative. And I did try bioidentical hormones. They were not good at all and really gave me bad side effects. So I stopped those. I wasn't even on them a month. Yeah, but no, always natural route I've been. Mm-hmm.
You said that you always enjoyed raw foods, and then at home I can imagine it's not so challenging. But when you're traveling, or when you're going out, or you're going to somebody else's for dinner, how do you handle that situation?
Oh gosh, easy. Because when I used to be 100% raw vegan, so you kind of figure out ways how you've got to eat. Because back then veganism was like not really popular yet. So I would make my own meals. So the same way here, the carnivore, I'll bring my own food. I don't care. You're going to watch me eat what I eat because this is what I eat. So I'll make my own meals if I go to a party or family, friends, or if I know I'm not going to be there very long, then I'll go ahead and just eat before I go. And it ties me over. Traveling, there's always a store that has meat there, I like to eat good quality foods when I'm home, but if I can't have it, I still need to eat something. So I'll eat grain finished food if I have to, just to get by. But I try to make it as easy as possible.
So tell me something about the journey from raw vegan to raw carnivore. That's quite a journey.
Yes, and it was right into it, which was really interesting. So I was vegetarian for 1.5 years, then I got into cooked vegan, and then shifted right into that after 6 months to the 100% raw. And then right about my 4th year, that's when my body was starting to break down, and my thyroid. That veganism totally damaged my thyroid, and I have been trying to heal it since. And that's where I had the hair falling out, losing my eyebrow, again, the skin, dryness, and coarse hair. So right about the time, it was like April, I believe, I was coming out of the winter, and I had a gentleman who was also part of I had a vegan support group at my home. We had 100 people that would come to my home to have raw potlucks and just kind of talk vegan stuff, right? Teach each other things. And so when one of my members, who was a snowbird, went down to Florida every winter, he'd be back. And he came to me one day when we first seen each other when he got back. He says, "You know what, Éva, I know you're a very open-minded person, so I know you're not going to get upset with me when I tell you this." I said, "Okay, what, And he says, "Yeah," he goes, I found out, for myself that this vegan diet is not healthy for me. My body's been breaking down. And I actually found Agnes van der Planets and what he does, and it's all animal-based, but he says it's raw, just like we do raw vegan." I was like, wow. I go, yes. I go, I have been having symptoms, and I just can't figure out what it is, but I'm ready to listen because I can't figure it out, so let's hear what you got. So he told me all about that diet. I says, I'm going to do this. So I started slow, though. I started with raw milk. So I did well, fine, no problem. Then I started adding in cheeses, and then eventually meat. And by the time, I got to the meat, everything, I started eating all that raw, everything raw, yeah. And so then, of course, again, there was still vegetables and fruits in the diet, and I blame that if I wasn't eating those, I would have still been eating that raw like that from that day forward. And I wish it would have been that way, because it would have saved me a lot of trouble and lots of surgeries and the breaking down of my body. But I believe we experience what we need to in life, to learn from them.
Were you vegan for ethical reasons?
Not at all. It was mostly just, I didn't even ever think about the animals. It was always about, my interest in health started at 16. It's something in my inner self. It's not my parents. They were never like that. Where I got it from, who knows? It just came to me, and I was very conscious of working out and eating healthy, and of course the low-fat craze. I stuck to it like a T. Everything was low-fat, right? And then as I got into my young adult years, then I started learning about the different diets and all the different modalities, and I always was alternative minded, go to chiropractor instead of regular doctor as much as I can. If there was something really serious, then I'd go to the medical doctor, But it was just a progression, and I've always been into the alternative. So when diet, that's the number one thing you think about for your optimal health, and I always was chasing optimal health. Even though I wasn't like a sickly person, but I always wanted to achieve that. Of course, we know we'll never achieve it. That's no such thing, right? But at least we can get close to it. Yeah.
And the ethics is obviously a big deal for a lot of vegans. So do you see that as a stumbling block then that closes them down to these possibilities? You said you were open, but ethics wasn't really your way, and you were looking for health, so you were kind of open to this. So do you find that that's the ethics becomes in a way an obstacle in itself? Oh, absolutely, yeah. Because we see it time and time again, right? And especially the ex-vegans who put their story out there too. It's so much of for me, it was easy to shift, you see? He came to me, told me, I'm like, let's do it. I didn't even think twice. And so somebody who ethically is doing it, it's not that easy. They have to struggle and if it's even more deep-seated than, there's certain levels, I think, of that, ethical thing that people really have. And if it's so deep-seated, some people may not be able to do it, right? But then you have those that finally do break through and finally become ex-vegans. They go, try the carnivore or wherever, they end up. But yeah, that definitely is a huge factor in not being able to get out of it, Right.
Yeah.
And you said you had this community of about 100 people.
Yes.
Did some of those ostracize you after?
Oh, glad you brought that up, yes. I wrote, and I knew a lot of people, I'd lose a lot of people. And I still wanted a group going because it was still going to be a raw group, but not raw, vegan. So I wrote a nice long letter explaining why, telling them this is what's going on with my health. Obviously, it's not working for me. Maybe it will work for whoever, is in my group. Maybe it's working for you. Or maybe there are issues you're similarly having that I am, and you just don't know why. So I let them know that this is what I have, this is what I decided to do, and if any of you don't want to be a part of the group anymore, because now I'm shifting our group to this raw animal-based food diet, with the veggies and fruits, of course, and if you want to stay and learn more, well, by all means, please do. We welcome everybody. And so I think I lost about, I'd say 2/3 of the people. Yeah.
That's
yeah. But But then we gained new people through friends of theirs who were interested in the raw animal-based products. And I even had a lecture with Agnes van der Planets come over to my home for our group. So he was actually there with us too. So that helped teach a lot of the people these things.
When you said you lost 2/3 of the people, did you get any particularly kind of violent reactions from people?
Not so much violent. They just couldn't understand. There was one woman who was 25 years vegan, and she just was, she couldn't get it through her head that not everybody's the same. And I think she was the most upset seeing that. But I just explained, we are all different, and what works for you, obviously, it's not working for me, and I have to take the road that, I got to find what works for me, But most people were understanding, some of them a little upset, but nothing extreme.
Yeah. And you've been, I imagine you're following this trend that we seem to be seeing of vegans sort of coming out and saying, hey, it's not working for me, and I need to change and start eating some meat. Do you think that that's a trend that we're going to be seeing more and more?
Yeah, absolutely. I see a lot of young people getting into this. So of course, when you're young, you're not as damaged. Although when I started, I was young. I was probably early 30s. But you see 20, even 16, 16-year-olds, 20-year-olds, they're very healthy. So for them to see negative change may take a lot longer. So it's hard to get through to them. But people, when they go into it when they're older, they're going to start feeling the changes quickly for the worse. But as time, but then think about it, the youth aren't as healthy as they used to be either. With all the different things, the foods they were eating anyway, and so maybe it will happen sooner than later for them as well. Who knows? But yeah, the trend is with that shifting. People going into it and then getting out of it because it is breaking them down. We're going to see that all the time. It's not going to stop, and I definitely more. I'm sure.
Yeah, I was just going to say, are people starting to come to you? Do you see yourself as a kind of a potential go-between then between the carnivore and the vegan community for people who coming from the vegan community and it's not working for them? Do you see yourself as someone that can understand and?
Yeah. Oh, I can absolutely understand. Yeah. And if anybody wanted to come to me and get help to help transition over and find out information, well, I have a raw food support group. Or it's not a support, but it's a raw Facebook page, Rawsome, it's a long name, Rawsome Paleo, Rawsome Paleo, Carnivore, and Zero Carb Sanctuary. So I created that group for those folks who were in all the carnivore groups on the Facebook. There's now, I can't believe how many groups are there, but there's always somebody who's going to say something negative about what you're doing. So it doesn't matter, you're eating the same things, but we're eating it raw. Oh, it's bad for you. Oh, how's that any better than cooked? It's no better. And then there's always arguments then, right? And I've seen pockets of people in all these groups coming up more and more raw. People are adding more raw and eating raw. I'm like, is there a Facebook group for raw people? I knew there was for pets, but I'm searching, nothing. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I go, should I start one? I'm like, we really need a group for us. So it's kind of like, it's not, I don't want to make it us or them, but somewhere where we can talk about it and share things without people making us feel bad about it. So I decided I'd create one, and I did. And now I think we've got, 1,258 people, maybe somewhere around there. So, and people are coming in now that are, they're carnivore. I don't think I've seen a vegan in there yet because nobody has said they are. I do have, actually, no, I take that back. I think there's been a couple that have discontinued being vegan, but it was more recently. And they're definitely going carnivore and want to learn more. And then you've got your carnivore people who have been just eating cooked. They come in, hey, want to learn more, tell me about it. So yeah, we welcome anybody who wants to, And there's people who still eat vegetables, fruits, who are in the group. I don't, there's no problem with that. The core thing, the basic thing that brings us together is eating raw animal-based foods. That's the main thing. What else you want to eat, that's your business, So we share it. I try to keep a peaceful community in there. I don't allow anything about vegans in there because we don't want that. You go to the other groups, all of them don't mind. Vegan bash all you want there. But this is a sanctuary, it's peaceful. And that's how, and most people like that in that group. So yeah, it's an interesting journey.
You strike me as a kind of a bit of a community organizer type.
Oh, I don't know about an organizer. Well, I'm a wedding officiant, so I speak with, but.
And so just my last question is about community and the importance of community as you see it in this world of health and discovery.
Oh, that's wonderful, yes.
Well,
yeah, it might be something.
Can you talk about it?
Well, yeah. It would definitely be something I could run with Yeah, because I am a people person. I do, like you said, love to organize and especially spread the word. If it's, I'm feeling it, I'm living it.
More like speak to the importance of community, for support and sharing information and.
Yes, yeah. Oh, that's very important. Yeah, because the community of the carnivore community as a whole. The more people we have speaking about it, the more we have to share and learn from each other. So because we each have something different that's happened. So one person isn't the same, and what we can share, then pass on to the next person. And then if people are struggling, then we help them, give them what advice we know from our own experiences. And so that's why it's so important we have that community of different people. So if we have more, and we see all the time, there's more and more faces that are coming up newer and newer, and they bring something new to the table every time. So if we can, if I could be like that, that'd be great, but I don't even know where I'd start.
Brilliant, thank you. That's very cool.
Thank you. Thank you so much.